in my head again. You had your heart set on me, but these feels, they come and go, and they come so easily.
Hi guys. How is everybody doing? I hope you are doing well, because I am doing well. It's been mwezi, yani wadau, hata kuniuliza, okay mumeniuliza, hata kunitu, anyway, never mind. I hope you've been well, because I've been well. I've taken so long before I shoot, not for any bad reason. I think I just had a lot on my plate, and I took a breather. Also nikitafuta content, because now I got lots of content, so I'll be sharing bit by bit. I was trying different things. I've tried so many things, so I'll keep doing one by one. So yeah, I've been good, and I've taken a whole month to rejuvenate. Rejuvenate. I've come back with a different energy. So yeah, apparently right now it's 9 p.m. after a long day. Let me catch you up with something, then I'll be now sharing content as usual. I'll go back to sharing content as usual. The break is done. I'm done with. By the way, did you know shooting is also a lot of work? It's creating content, by the way, is also a lot of work. Now plus, I'm not complaining, I love doing it. Now plus editing. You sit here, you think you have to yeah, especially some of us who don't have editors, that you have to sit down and edit everything. So you have to learn. You keep learning every day, because you see, it's not like something you were taught to do, because some of us didn't take that or learn it in school. So you learn by, researching and exploring. Well, that is it. I hope mko sawa. I hope you've been well with your families, with your people, with your ancestors. So let me catch you up with something. I've taken a whole month, and then that 1 month, you remember, there is that time after, I don't want to go back to that, but after I lost my father, that's 1 month I have had kumkumbuka, not in a bad way, because this is the reason. The reason I had kumkumbuka, I received a phone call. You see how I received, when somebody passes on, Safaricom replaces their line and gives it to somebody else. Hey, if you've never lost somebody, by then you might not know, but that's normally the case. They give that specific line a specific or a certain duration, and when that duration is done, they replace it to somebody else. So normally it's like a norm. Normally I would call that number, not for any reason, but just to comfort myself, like, oh, what if daddy picks from the other end? Let me tell you, letting go is somebody going and whatever, but letting go is something, it's just something that doesn't happen overnight. You struggle with it bit by bit. So normally me, I would have, I know I'm not alone, even yetu hamwezi niambia, but I would keep calling that number, my dad's number. You see, it was off head, so just dial it with the hope. I would hold, what if daddy picks? But nobody. It was always that annoying person, whatever, Safaricom. So it was a norm thing for me, until one day I actually called. I called and the phone was picked. And the fact that the phone was picked is not the issue, but the fact that I was expecting it to be picked, and then it was picked. Can you imagine my reaction? I was, what if it's, you see, madness. Because for a minute I was excited. I actually thought it was dad, but it wasn't. It is Safaricom that had replaced it to another woman who was not even understanding my language. I felt bad. Alafu she was speaking the call like, wewe ni nani? And then I'm on the other end telling her, wewe ni nani, uko na simu ya baba yako? Guy, because you see, it was repressed to somebody else, but me, I didn't know that's what happens. Me, I didn't know that happens. So I was like, "Mbona uko na simu ya daddy?" And that woman is not even getting the what madness is this woman telling me on this other phone, because now I had to hang up because she was not from my language. So there was a lot of language barrier. I tried all types of languages, but she was not getting any of them. So that's how my daddy's number went. But I was heartbroken. Actually, I'm narrating it laughing, but I was heartbroken by the fact that I knew now daddy was now gone and gone forever, and he's not coming back. Because I was always hanging up to the hope and thought, hi baby is saying hi, we are shooting with him. I was always hanging up with the hope of what if daddy can pick up, what if daddy can come back. It sounds really insane, but I think it's the stages of grief that I'll definitely one time share that content, because I've been through it, and probably it can help somebody else going through that stages. Grief is a lot of stages. So yes, the woman. Now here's another part. Aki, so after that woman picked the call, me, I let go. I've never deleted the number. My dad's number is still here. But now I don't call it because it will be picked by that woman, and it can be quite annoying, right? So I stopped. I think it was just God's way of helping me to let go, kidogo. So that period that I was off, I received a phone call. It was just one morning, very early in the morning. It was, I think, almost 8 in the. Why am I saying early in the morning? It was early in the essence of it was a stranger's phone call. So I received a phone call, and this was how the phone call was like. So I received a phone call with my attitude, because the person on the other end is not saying what they want. They are like, hello, and I'm like, sema, please, like, haongei, like. But I could tell the voice was from like an elderly man, so I softened to at least listen. I actually thought they had sent money to my number wrongly, so I was like keen to listen to. Actually, he sounded old, so I was like, I always have soft spot for soft spot for old people. So I received that call, and the man was like, hello, nataka kuongea na, should I mention my daddy's name? He's okay. Now he said, I want to talk to now my dad's. He said like my dad's name. My dad was Gashohe. Hello, nataka kuongea na Gashohe. Now that was in my mother tongue. So at first I froze. I was like, did daddy came back and mommy hasn't? Wait, you people have not told me daddy came back. So I was like, wait, what? And he was like, yes, I want to speak to Gashohe. And I was like, from where? Because daddy left 2 years ago. Daddy passed on 2 years ago. So I couldn't comprehend like the entire phone call. So I was like, I was there. By the way, I am not lying. For a minute I froze, because I was like, wait, what? But he got persistent, and then I asked him, who are you? Then he explained, I'm a long time friend of his from way back, but then he resides, I think, in my Mahiu or Narok. I reside in my Mahiu, we got to meet this and this time, but he gave me a long story of how they met up there. And then I was like, man, so the man didn't know that my father passed on. So I was like, what do I tell him? And then already I'm feeling bad telling somebody who doesn't know. I think it's coming with some like a reload of emotions. So I was there like, oh God, he's bad. And he was talking so well, like he was so sure. The reason he used my phone is because some times back my daddy had visited that place. And the fact that as generation we have smartphones. He inakwanga life kwa sisi. It's either memes, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We are always, sisi ni generation Y. Are we generation Y? Z? I don't remember, but we are in a certain generation where technology is taking over, and then we have embraced. So for them, our dads and our parents, they were in that technology where they had those two mulika mwizi, and they had embraced them too. So that time that daddy had visited that place, alikuwa na mulika mwizi. It was long ago, and that mulika mwizi of his was not keeping charge. So the fact that it was not keeping charge and he was far from home, I had tried calling him. So because he knew my number off head, he used that man's phone to dial me, and akanipigia mimi na namba na simu ya huyo mzee. Tumeshikana. So that's when huyo mzee alisave, because daddy was taking a while there, alikuwa anakaa hapo kidogo. So the man saved, so that anytime daddy needs to call me and his phone is off, itakuwa easy to communicate. And that's how the man was left with my number. So he was trying the entire time to reach my daddy's number, but haikuwa ichukuliwa. So alikuwa ananiambia, nimeshakupigia baba yako hashikangi, because why? It was off, ilikuwa ishaenda mteja. And then something else, ilishaenda mteja, and then probably when he tried other time ikachukuliwa na the other woman, because it was replaced by Safaricom. So that man alinipea all the details. I was feeling bad, but I promise I didn't cry. But nikamwambia, and then I told him, I had to tell him because it was so long. Sasa Kai, aki afu ni old, I was scared. What if I tell him and he gets a heart attack? Kai, baby, I was scared telling him on phone, because aki alinipea a history of them too. Aki, they were so good friends, but then they lost walipoteanwa sana, probably because of life, works and stuff, but they are still friends. Nile too, they don't communicate often or even meet, but they are still friends. So I had to tell him, pole aki daddy alipass 2 years ago. He even hata hakusema another word till saa ino wape story, hakusema kitu ingine, alinyamaza tu. I could hear his breathing through the phone, like alishtuka sana, because probably alishindwa how it happened, how he never came to find out. But the bad thing with grief, sometimes, unless you announce it on televisions and newspapers, which I've come to realize sometimes I think it's necessary, because something like that ange find out probably through the news. If they watch those death announcements, angejua. If they buy newspapers, angejua. But that is how bad that phone call was, because I felt really bad. One, it was replaced, and two, that man was really heartbroken. So nimekuwa tu nikimpea time nimempea time long, because I have not gathered enough courage to call him and talk about my dad, which just bring up another roller coaster of emotions that I really try to avoid. But I will call him and probably check up on him. Anywho, nimerudi na udaku mingi, but I had missed doing this because it's been a long time. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, for watching, for being there for me, for supporting me. You've supported me. I've done lots of videos and I've seen you've supported me well. So far so good, because I have just been on YouTube for like months. How many months? 5. 5. But anyway, thank you guys for everything, and for supporting, for coming back. Kindly subscribe, share, like, all those. Till the next one. Bye bye guys.